going on, guys? So did a little work to the motor, kind of pretty much tore it back down, not all the way but down to where I need to get to. Took some of y'all suggestions from the comment section. So what I did was put some Loctite on the bolts on the thrust plate. Don't know why I didn't do it the first time. I did with the 306 when I built that motor, but I did with this motor. I went back and did it just to make sure everything's done right, which should have been done right the first time, but it is now. I mean, I spent maybe 20 bucks on gaskets, but I think it's well worth it than having a motor in the car and giving me problems. But got that done. Put some Loctite on. I pretty much Loctite everything: the cam bolt, thrust plate bolts. What else? Oil pump, oil pickups, and an oil pickup tube. But kind of ran into a problem with that. I went to put the oil pump back onto the car with some. I put some Loctite on it. The bolts in the block to hold the oil pump onto the block, those torque down fine. Putting the two bolts through the pickup tube through to the oil pump, that's where it gave me some problems. One side actually kind of just split. Let me show you here. Here's the oil pump. It's a Ford Racing high flow oil pump. You can see that or not? Yeah, focus. Yeah, that's where it split. And the torque specifications on these is 20 foot-pounds. I think make it 20 foot-pounds. But it cracked right there. I got a hold of LMR. We're gonna send a replacement, but they haven't sent it out yet. They want this one back and yada yada. But what I went ahead and did is went to Summit and picked up a pretty much a stock standard volume oil pump for it. I've done some research on it, but I don't think I did enough. So I spent a few hours just looking around, and a lot of people are saying just run a standard volume oil pump on these motors, unless you're planning on spending the 65 or 7,000 and up. So there's really no need for a high volume oil pump. So another thing too was apparently they like to chew up cam gears. Usually around after 5. A lot of people are saying around 5 to 10,000 miles are chewing up cam gears. So I really don't want having to change out a cam while the motor's in the car. So screw it, I'm just going to throw a stock volume oil pump in. It's going to work just fine. Plus it'll free up a little horsepower. So that's what I went ahead and did with that. Still running the ARP shaft in it. So we should be good there. On the 306 I ran a standard volume oil pump in that as well. I didn't have any problems. Actually I had to put a restrictor on the turbo because it was pushing too much oil into it. So this motor probably be the same way, make right around the same oil pressure. What else? That's about it really, guys. Just pretty much went back to the motor and corrected a few things, and it got put back together. Another thing, I checked the pickup tube, the clearance for the pickup tube in the bottom of the pan. So we're good there. I measured it, I followed I did a clay method, and it worked good there. So we got the new oil pump home yesterday from Summit. From now on, I guess I'm going to start opening boxes up while I'm there. Got home, ready to bolt this oil pump on, and to find out the gasket that goes between the oil pickup tube and the pump, it was literally folded in half. It was like squashed. It was not even usable. It had a tear in it. I'm not sure if I still have it. So here's the gasket I got. It was folded like this, and it was just squashed. I had to open it up. You can see there's the tear in it. So it was pretty much, I could not use it. It was trash. So went online, see AutoZone had it. They didn't have any in stock around here. AutoZone didn't have any in stock. Nobody had it in stock, just a little gasket. So I just kind of, what I did was I had some gasket paper and I cut my own out, and should do the job. Something stupid like that for a $2, literally a $2 seal or gasket. It took up a couple hours of my time looking for a gasket around town. But had a guy from the Texas or from the Foxbody forums had a piece of gasket paper, actually an old gasket too, like a water pump or something. It was perfect, same thickness and all. So I just pretty much traced it out and got my razor blade and cut the gasket out. I think I have a picture, I'll show you now. So oil pumps in the car, everything's pretty much, not in the car, oil pumps in the motor, everything's done, everything's pretty much where I left off on the last video. So now we're going to work on getting the heads on it. So when I was doing the piston and valve clearance on the motor, you got some of these dowels that go into the block. They're called, let me go focus here. Maybe not, but these are head alignment dowels. These will make sure your heads are aligned on your block properly. So you got 2 on each side on the very bottom of the block. So one side they're perfectly fine. The other side, I'm not sure when I had the motor rebuilt, they put these in or not. But when her put these in, I guess they hammered it too hard and it made an edge on it, so the head will not go down in it. So like right here, that's where it's at. It was only just the one that did it. So I think they hammered a little too hard, and then they flattened it out. And it made a kind of spread the metal out, I should say. Trying to explain best I can. But I can't use this. Gotta make sure these are perfect. So I'm gonna pull all these out, all 4 of them. And with the Summit, I was at Summit, I pick up some new ones here. These are a little bit bigger, but I already measured them and tried them out on the block, and they'll work. They're made by Trick Flow. I'll throw the model number below. But I'm gonna put these in. These are like a lot better quality than these. Looks like they're a tad bit thicker, but they're solid. They don't have the cut in it. Well, you can see right here. Don't have the cut in it like this one does. So I think these will work a lot better. So I'm just gonna pull the 4 studs out on each side. Alright, I'm gonna pull the camera over here. This is where the dowels go into. You can see here, the very bottom of the block. Bottom of the block. You got 2 on each side. So I'm gonna pull these studs out. I already did this side, and I just need to do the other side. Pull them studs out. Pull these out. They come out pretty easy. I don't know why they had to put so much. I don't know why they had to hammer so hard. They don't go in very deep. You can see. Maybe it's camera focus. Let's try to focus on the box over there. But anyways, they don't go in very far. So I'm gonna pull these out and to put the new ones in. They're a little pricey. They're like 13 bucks. You can buy them from LMR for like, well, they're not the same brand, but you can buy them from LMR for like about 7 bucks. But I mean, it's a Trick Flow product, so it's a quality item. So we're just gonna replace them before we put the new heads on. As you can tell, all new gaskets. I went and put new gaskets in. There's no point reusing gaskets. It's already torn apart. I just spent the extra. I think this gasket kit was think 14, 15 bucks, something like that. Maybe 20, I don't know. I forgot. But went here and just replaced all the gaskets in it. I mean, might as well. So, like I said, I'm gonna replace these dowels and I'll put the new ones in. Then we'll be ready to put the heads on the motor. Make sure the surface is perfectly clean on both sides and the head. We want a clean surface to mount to. So I'm gonna replace the dowels, then we'll get the head gaskets, and we'll put them on. Alright guys, so I got my lifters out, had them soak in oil for quite some time. They suggest you soak them for at least 24 hours, but mine have been soaking for like a week and a half. But I mean, you don't have to do it that long, but that's just how it turned out. So I just pulled them out of the oil. Gonna put a semi-lube on them still, on the roller parts. Pretty much anything that's gonna have movement on when I put it in, so we can eliminate the dry start. So got them pulled out, got them on a clean surface here. Got my dog bones here, or retainers, we want to call them. Got me my bolts here, and the retainer here. So I got everything here ready to roll, ready to put in the motor. Just going over everything. These are actually really clean. These actually came out of the 306. So there's very minimal cleaning on these. The lifters probably got maybe 6,000 miles on them, and they look great. So so we're gonna reuse them. Dog bones, everything. I mean, like everything came out there clean. So I just used a little bit of parts cleaner, and it cleaned up with these. So I didn't have to soak any of those. So I'm ready to put these lifters in the motor, and put the dog bones in and the retainer. Then we can start working on the heads. Alright, I'm gonna get my semi-lube here. Kind of just coat each one. I'm not gonna get stingy with it. I'll put a nice coat on it. Alright, so now this process, I'm gonna throw some gloves on, so I can have clean as possible hands when I put these in. Alright, got my first lifter here. Just gonna make sure I got this lube all the way around it. I'm just gonna slide it in. They should slide in pretty easy. And also want to make sure when you put these in, you'll see two little slots. That's where your dog bone will slide into. You want to go straight down. Alright guys, something I should have showed you before you put these lifters in. These lifters gotta go in a certain way. So I'm gonna pull one of these out. I'm gonna pull this one. It's sticking out the farthest. Grab it with my gloves here. Alright, got the lifter out. You'll notice there's a hole here and nothing on back. So there's a little pin-sized hole in this lifter. That's how it gets oil in it. So you want this hole going towards the middle of the motor. So I'm going to slap it back in just like that. And we'll put our dog bone back in. So I just need to show you that. I should show you that before I put these in. But they're all like that. All your holes should be facing towards the middle of the motor. Alright, so just going to kind of go over it. Everything should be center. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. Alright, now so we're going to put our retainer in. And we got our 2 bolts. I'm going to put a little Loctite on those. And we'll torque them down to 10 foot-pounds. Here's our retainer. What this does, it holds the dog bones in place. Kind of centering everything up, just looking over it. Make sure these dog bones are nice and center. Alright, everything looks pretty good. I'm going to put some screws in it, and we're going to screw it down a little bit, and we'll see if it needs adjusting anymore, because it may move once I start tightening it down. Alright, so everything looks good. We're going to go ahead and torque them down. Alright guys, lifters are in, retainers torqued down. Everything's nice and lubricated. Everything's nice and clean. Now we can get started working on the heads. I'm going to go with some brake cleaner, and we're going to clean this side one more time. Make sure it's absolutely clean. Then we'll put our gasket back on, and we'll be ready to throw the head on. Hey, what's up guys? Alright, so I already got started putting on the driver's side head. Got that one done. Now we're going to work on getting the passenger side head done. Got my head down there. Just doing some final cleaning up on it. Make sure it's absolutely clean. And doing the same thing for the the block as well. Make sure it's nice and clean. We have a nice clean surface to bolt onto and clamp this head. So got the studs on, got the new dowels in. Like I said, just need to clean up just a little bit more and make sure everything's nice and clean. Then we'll slap the head on and start torquing. I'm doing a 4-sequence torque on this only because ARP is recommending 110 foot-pounds of torque to torque these heads down to. So instead of doing the 3, I'm doing 4 sequences. So I'm not doing a real long torque change in between, so I'm kind of spreading it out, if that makes sense. I think it'd be the best way than before, instead of making a big torque change. So I'm just kind of evening it out, doing 4 torque sequences instead of 3. Alright guys, got my head gasket here. Before I put it on, I'm going to show you how to put these on, because you can put these on wrong. You notice on the block it's got 2 water passages through the block. Hopefully you can see that through the camera. But there's 2 water passages on the block. On most of these gaskets, it will say front, if you can see that or not. It says front there. So this gasket front should be the front of the motor. So for example, on this side, on the passenger side of the motor, this gasket will actually be upside down. So it will actually go on like this with your 2 water passages open in the back. That's the same way as the driver's side as well. So we're just going to slide it on. We'll look at something here. Yeah, it looks the same on both sides. Just going to slide it on. Alright, before I put the head on, I'm going to put some RTV on the back side here and the front. Probably don't have to, but I'm going to do it anyway. Make sure we have a good seal. Alright, got my head here. Slide it down. Alright now, so got all the bolts here we're going to use and the washers, and we got some fastener grease here. We got to grease up all the bolts we're going to put these nuts onto, and we also got to grease up our washers so we'll get the proper torque we need and we torque these down. Alright guys, got the head on, got all the bolts, everything's greased. Now we're ready to start torquing down. There's a sequence you got to do to torque these heads down. First you got to start in the middle. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll be doing this 4 times. First torque we're going to do is 35 foot-pounds, and then from there we'll go up. I think the next torque is 65, then 85, then the fourth I'm going to do the 110. Just take it slow. Alright, we are done with our first torque sequence. The next, we're going to bump it up to 65 foot-pounds. We're going to repeat the same sequence we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll do that 4 times.